Good evening. My name is James Coleman, and I would like to inform you about universal design in education. How many of you have used curb cutouts or the sliding doors, say at a Walmart?
Me?
Well, do you know that the main purpose of those was to enable individuals with disabilities easier access in and out of a building? The concept behind sliding doors and the curb cutouts is the term universal design. According to David Rose in the article Universal Design for Learning in 2001, the concept universal design originated from the field of architecture to incorporate uses of a building and facilities that would allow individuals with a broad range of capabilities to use and access the site. The term universal design first appeared in the 1980s when Ron Mace defined it as the design of products and environments to be usable by all people to the greatest extent possible, without the need for adaptation or specialized design. Universal design was used as a means to create structures that could accommodate a wide spectrum of users, including those with disabilities. The idea was for builders or architects to integrate universal accessibility into the building design to consider the needs of all possible building users from the start, rather than just installing structures such as elevators, ramps, automatic doors, or existing buildings for accessibility. According to Spencer Salient, in the 7th edition of Creating Inclusive Classrooms, the interaction of universal design produces more choices and ease of use for all individuals. Today, universal design goes beyond removing physical barriers and acts as a guide to increase the usability to as many products, service, and environments as possible, rather than adapting barriers to fit individual needs later. Have you ever seen a teacher, back where you were in school, adjust to an assignment for any student, or maybe even yourself?
Yeah.
Well, we all have. As students with disabilities, even those with language barriers, need a variety of ways to access the lessons that are being taught. Well, regardless of ability, people have different learning styles, which can be very different for each person. The Center for Applied Technology, David Rose, and Ann Meyer took the concept of universal design and applied it to an educational setting. The principles of universal design for learning were developed following the 1997 reauthorization of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. At the time, there was considerable national interest in the issues of inclusion, which placed the majority of students with disabilities in general education classrooms. While students with disabilities had gained physical access to general education classrooms, concerns were being raised about how students would gain access to the general curriculum. According to David Rose and Ann Meyer, in the article, Teaching Every Student in the Digital Age, the term universal design for learning takes into account universal design concepts and applies them to an educational setting. Whether formal or informal learning environments to help all learners have access to the general curriculum or material to be learned. In 2002, the Center for Applied Social Technology set guidelines for universal design for learning. The 3 guidelines are distinct to learning practices, which include multiple means of representation, multiple means of expression, and multiple means of engagement. These principles address the access to the vigorous methods of teaching and learning, and not access to fixed structures of buildings or information. The universal design for learning principle of multiple means of representation is where information and materials are available through different forms to allow all learners accessibility and to understand the material. In other words, to give learners various ways of acquiring information and knowledge. Examples According to David Rhodes, Ann Meyer, and the Center of Universal Design at North Carolina State University, may include visuals, graphics, auditory, multilingual formats, or a combination of these. People with abilities, with all different abilities, differ in the way that they navigate learning environment or express what they know. When providing multiple means of expression, it is critical to ensure that they are accessible alternatives in various lessons and supports such as in mentoring and modeling various activities which can be given as individuals gain experience in an area, as well as giving feedback that is essential to learning and to growth. According to the Center for Universal Design, multiple means of expression is to provide people alternatives for demonstrating what they know. Examples could include writing essays, acting out a scene, making a movie, or as easy as verbally expressing answers to a test. Individuals of all ability levels differ in the ways in which they engaged or motivated to learn. While some individuals are highly engaged by impulsiveness or originality or by actively doing things, others are disengaged and may even be frightened by active learning environment. The principle of multiple means of engagement reflects that not all individuals are engaged in their learning in the same ways. So it is critical to offer various forms of engagement activities and motivational techniques to reach a wide array of learners. It is important to tap into learners' interests, challenge them appropriately, and motivate them to learn. The principles of universal design were developed after extensive research was conducted at the Universal Design, and the Center for Universal Design at North Carolina developed the principles that aim to support the needs of all. These principles are used as a guide to help educators form an inclusive and effective means of instruction for their learners. According to the U.S. Department of Education, with more than 11% of students having some form of disability, and more than half of these individuals are included in the general classroom, teachers can use these principles of universal design for learning when creating lessons to use in the classroom. When provided in the classroom, universal design for learning practices can be incorporated to help all learners receive individualized accommodations to help them access and succeed in an inclusive formal or informal educational setting. I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight. Is there any questions?